shouldn't do this. I shouldn't do this. I am in like a world of hurt.
Oh, that hurt the neck. Oh, yeah.
How did you get an invite? I don't know.
But seeing it on your faces was really brought realization to me. You know, I was like, these guys are actually nervous.
What a freaking place on earth this is.
Giraffes, hundreds of elephants. You're way more nervous and scared than I thought you would be. You rolled into that airport like a kid on his first day at school, like, oh. Let's go. Welcome to another episode of Explore Yarns. Guys, we've just got back from our biggest trip ever, let's be honest. 3 weeks touring through Southern Africa, from the deserts to the wetlands, the animals, the bungee jumping, the injuries, the breakages, the good, the bad, the ugly. In this episode, guys, we're gonna talk you through from the start of the trip, the planning, the prep, through our journey, the locations we went to, you know, how it went. Would we do it again? What did we do right? What did we do wrong? And answer a lot of your guys' questions. There's been heaps of questions coming through from you guys. We've also chucked something up on Instagram. If you're not following, make sure follow on Instagram. But we got 2 out of the 3 good-looking roosters here. We didn't want the third one, the ugliest one, to be in this episode. He'd sort of ruined the look of it, I think.
But you had to come.
So I'm here. So Navsy's here, Dino's back. Boys, anyone miss Africa yet?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Oh, mate, the day we left.
So I've got some notes here. I'm going to run through some of the paper, but why Africa? Dino, you got involved. You've been touring through Australia with us. We did a trip over to America together. We did a lap around America.
Yeah, that was cool. Yep.
Why don't you tell the story, Dino, of like where Africa come about, why it come about?
So, yeah, well, I grew up there. Obviously, one big thing, been going there since I was a kid. I mean, Dad used to take me through many places in southern African regions, you know, from when I was probably 6 years old, first time to Botswana. And I think that is where my true love of bush goes. Bush wildlife, like, you know, the amount of animals, as you guys now know, it's very, very different. Yes, you get glimpses of that in certain places in Aussie, but for me, it's the wild, the easygoing nature of the people, the culture of the local guys. It's just chilled and almost old school in a way. It's, you know, it's like, think about Australia, maybe, I don't know, you guys would know, but, you know, like 20 years ago, 30, 40 years, maybe your dad's era, you know, what it was like. And yeah, just that utter adventure, I think that's where.
So was it when we were cruising through America that we come up with the idea, or was it before that?
I think it was before that. It's when you know, when I just kind of moved over here, we met, and you know, you still mocked me for my accent,
and his dress code.
And my
his
dress
hats,
code, you know, and the dress code. Yeah, I think it's always been on the bucket list, but there was a bunch of things to do first. And I mean, for me, I was looking for something different as well. So, you know, America, it was way different. I'd never been, you'd never been. And in fact, I think we got to know each other properly on our first trip to America in 2019.
Yeah, the OG America trip. We went over for a little overland show, Overland Expo East. And that's when we really, you know, went from, you know, Dean being a product we were using or a sponsor of the series to us becoming mates, and then just dreaming up ideas. So we did decide we were going to have a crack at America first.
100%.
And then we knew we weren't going to be able to get away going to 2 big overseas trips in a row. We did that quick trip over to America. We did touring around Australia. We did 2023 in America. 24, we're like, right, another year back in Australia. And 25, we're like, 25's a year. So it was probably 4 years in the making.
It's also got to do with, you know, with you guys watching at the end of the day. You know, we like the adventure side. We're looking all around the world, I suppose, to where can we tour next?
A lot of the content that's put up on YouTube in Australia now, it's so many people doing it, a lot of people doing the same things, and I'm always looking for that next big adventure, you know? Me and Nav we've done a lot of Australia now.
Fair bit, full lap at least. Yeah.
And it's like, where can we get that itch, that bug? And I caught a lot of that from the boating content that we've been doing. You know, that's like that out of our comfort zone, new, exciting, and it comes across on camera. And when we were over in Africa, you can't fake just that froth, being scared.
Go back.
being excited and seeing things for the first time. It's what I love doing, and it's what you guys, clearly like seeing because it's just so raw. How did you get an invite? I don't know. Well, look, I thought
needed some bait.
It's probably one I can't not bring Navsy on. We've done so much traveling together. It's hard to find people you can travel in such close quarters.
Yeah.
So we brought the whole crew, and it was an awesome crew. And look, obviously, Dino, you're the bloke who put most of this trip together. So, why Botswana, Zimbabwe, South Africa? Run us through how you chose those areas to sort of take us.
Yeah, well, I think the big thing is when planning a trip, southern regions of Africa is pretty much the size of Australia. The only difference is there's border posts, and restrictions. So you can't go from Queensland to New South Wales, just drive across the border. So there's a lot more involved in it. But one of the big things in Bush Company's based in South Africa, so obviously my cars are there, the setups are there, so it's easy to start there for us. From there though, where I really took you guys, wasn't really South Africa. I haven't really shown you South Africa yet.
No,
so
pretty much just prepped there.
Yeah, it's like, all right guys, how much time do we have?
Yeah, what did you spend? A day?
A day.
Yeah, Dave, so good. I'm so glad I didn't have to think about that. That was terrifying having to work out that side of things. You guys did an amazing job.
Yeah. So, for me, it's more like, where can I take you guys to the wildlife encounters, to that raw bush camping? Yes, you can get that in certain places in South Africa, 100%. And to be honest, one day, now that you guys have done the first leg, we should do a proper tour of South Africa. There's beautiful places to see. Botswana is one of the safest countries to visit in Southern Africa, all right? Small population, good control with the law. And so for being a foreigner, for example, traveling there, Botswana is a really easy place to travel to. It was friendly, there was no issues. The border crossings were so simple and efficient. So there wasn't a stress. I mean, I get more worried when I land in, LA trying to get to navigate that airport than I do trying to cross a border post in Africa.
Yeah, and there's a lot of questions that come through like, is it safe? Where can I go do this trip? And at the end of this, we're gonna give you a bit of an itinerary of like what we think you'd be able to sort of fly in and go do. We really wanna make it relatable enough that if you guys have got the bug, you froth this enough and you're looking for your next adventure rather than going to America or Bali or Thailand, that, not a lot of people think Africa, and we want to try and break it down at the end here to show you guys how you could get over there with your mates, the missus, and actually replicate this. How long were we away, Navsy?
2.5, nearly 3 weeks.
Yeah, I think it was pretty much 3 weeks on the road, almost 2.5 on the road. And we were over there for a week prior prepping, almost a week, right? Now, this is obviously some of the questions that come through, but was it long enough? Was it too short? Was it too long? What's your thoughts?
I definitely don't think you'd want to go any less than what we did, because we did fly through that. I guess that's how we always do things, is because we've got schedules to hit, pretty quick. We're trying to see as much as we can. Yep. But I think by the time we did get to the end, I think we were starting to feel like we'd seen a lot, done a lot, whether that was because we went so quickly, even though it did feel like slow at the time, like we spent 3 days in almost in every place in a way. We did seem like we're going slow, but so much happens, there was so much to see that I did feel like at the end, it was like, all right, may need a little...
Bring him in, delivery boy. we got a little delivery. Hold on. Tommy with the goods. There we go. It's too early for beers, guys, so we've decided to rip into a coffee.
We actually do drink coffee.
So, yeah, Dino, what's your thoughts on...
Reiterate on that one. One thing you got to understand from our trip, and when we discussed, putting it together, we've got 3 weeks on the road. That's what we can kind of get everyone in for, and it makes sense. A lot of us have to leave our normal day jobs and stuff to actually do this. So my goal with setting up this trip was get it as action-packed, as full-on as possible. And to be honest, we achieved that. And we achieved that for the Explore Life. Like at the end of the day, if I was going to go on holiday with my family, I would do the same length of time, but at half the pace. So I wouldn't go to necessarily every campsite. I would select half the places we went to and spend 3 days in one place instead of one night, 2 nights, I tried to break it up as best we can, and honestly, I felt comfortable with it. But man, did we we saw a lot.
We saw everything.
We did everything.
There were quite quite a few places there where we were like, oh, we could spend another night here.
Yeah.
We could spend another day doing this thing.
And the cool thing is, because we've done that, you guys can actually go through and pick and choose. It's very obvious where some of our favourite places were. You know, we had a fair distance between some locations, so there was quite a bit of time spent driving, and you know, we had to do that because we're putting together an episode. Dean put together an itinerary that gave us just the best opportunity to see absolutely everything, and you don't always get to see wildlife, right? You can't pick and choose what rolls in through the campsite. You can't be sat on the edge of a pan and have a pride of lions walk over. Like, you have to grab some luck.
Are you joking? Mate, how many? 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 females? 6 females. I see that. Did you see the big dog? Yeah, I did. There is 7 lions hunting us right now.
And I think by being in so many different locations, we were able to pinch a little bit of luck from every location.
100%.
So before you even went, was it what you thought it was gonna be?
Well, I think I was a little bit maybe apprehensive.
You were way more nervous and scared than I thought you would be. You rolled into that airport like a kid on his first day at school, like, oh, I don't know about this.
Well,
Tylen was even more scared than you. He was like, you know, like before we leave, and he's like, you know, you sure we're like, the missus wants to make sure I'm going to be safe over there. I'm like, what are you talking about? You're running around in the bush chasing bulls, both of you. But
I guess when you're doing something that you grow up, like it's just like breathing, you get used to it, you forget the dangers in the situation. There is a fair bit of stigma around Africa, South Africa, that sort of thing. So and you only see what's on social media, I guess, what they want to show you. So it can be dependent on that sort of thing. So you got family like a bit concerned about you, and you're like, well, no, we should be right. Like we've got Matt. We got Dino. You know, you know, and I think that
we had someone.
Yeah, having Dino, you know, with the foot already in the door and thing, that's why it would be a trip that you're silly to miss out on when you got someone who can help you get into that, and it would be nervous for anyone wanting to go over there. But I think it pretty quickly, you know, you settled into got into the rhythm of it. It wasn't as scary as I guess we'd thought it was going to be, but
no, I sort of, you don't see too much Africa content on social media in Australia. So there was a very big unknown picture for me, like what is this trip really going to be like? Like, hopefully we get to see some animals. You know, is it going to be dangerous in South Africa? And like, you know, obviously Dean having your factory there and us running around, we felt extremely safe. There's procedures and little bits and pieces you got to do, you know, just little things like making sure you're locking your cars, making sure you tip the boys in the car park so they're looking after your cars. Good on you, mate. Appreciate you, bloody legend, and he's looking after you. So there's all the little things that you sort of learn. But once we got out into the bush, it was like being out in the Kimberley. You just got to worry about getting eaten.
Yeah,
it's easy.
More than
That's
the
easy
Kimberleys, more than Australia. Like, you don't have that animals that can actually eat you in Australia, other than crocodiles and sharks.
And I think, as you said there, it's difficult. You know, I can't relate to your feelings, or you know, of when you guys arrived, say in Johannesburg Airport. You know, like I grew up there. For me, that's the norm. Coming here, it's a very easy life. But seeing it on your faces was really brought realization to me. You know, I was like, these guys are actually nervous.
I thought I played pretty cool.
You know, these guys are actually nervous, but in a way, like, you didn't have to be. We worked it out. And that was, I think, getting back to the previous question as well. You know, Botswana, Zimbabwe, Namibia, we haven't done Namibia yet.
Let us know in the comments right now. Do you want us to go back? Have you guys enjoyed this content? Do you want to see more? Let us know just for commenting, guys. I'm going to pick a random winner. We'll give you a $200 Explore Life voucher. I think we all just we've been bit by the Africa bug big time. So let us know in the comments.
It was a good spot, good trip. And as by the second, third day, everyone was comfortable, having a great time, and we're in the rhythm of things.
So you had the most understanding of what we were going to see and do, and how was the trip for you? Did it play out in your mind? You're the only one who would have had a relatively clear picture. How did your expectations versus the trip actually pan out?
Oh man, in dead honesty, I was even blown away from the level of wildlife we saw. Now, going back is I would do the same trip, just slower half the time. So our trips, when we used to plan trips, myself and Michelle back in the day, whoever I toured with, Dad, you name it, we should go on longer trips. So 6 weeks off, you know, you take the whole of December and try and get an additional side, you know, week either side, and then do the same as we did. Now, what I've learned over the years is I've been multiple times. Can't count anymore. Been many times. But you tended to go to one region and then another region. And one thing which is interesting, because it's not a fenced-in game park where you've got everything in there, like a giant zoo. All right. South Africa's got one of those, or a couple, but the main one is the Kruger National Park. You can go there and you can see everything.
And that's where most people like stereotypically go, right?
Yeah, 100%. If you're going to go to South Africa, you go to Addo Elephant Park or maybe Kruger National Park, and everything's in there. You can see all the big five, most of the animals, all the buck and so on, and it's great. But taking you guys into the raw bush where you are open camping, there's no fences around your camp, but there's no fences around the park. So imagine wildlife roaming freely through plains and pans and bushveld, that is thousands of square kilometers big.
Yeah. It's the proper wild.
It's the proper wild. So,
And you felt that.
yeah, but because of that, you learn which regions have got different animals. And that's why we drove to so many different places. And we went, whether it was Central Kalahari or Chobe or Moremi, it was like, my goal was to find you guys all the different species. Yeah. We cracked it.
Jeez, we
cracked
ticked
it.
that off. Yeah. We got so lucky. Like, to the point of Dean's favourite animal is a wild dog, and he's like, it'd be great if we could see one wild dog. He's having a shower. 20 of the bastards run past the front of our camp.
You nearly come out running out naked,
What an absolute blessing seeing wild dog is. That was amazing. Ran right through camp. I was in the shower. Michelle comes running in. Get out the shower, wild dog in camp. We chased after him, and they luckily enough stopped about 600 meters that way. And what a sighting. What a sighting. Absolutely perfect start to a Saturday morning.
He comes out half nude out of the shower like, we're chasing them, and we're so lucky that they actually stopped not far up. And otherwise you would have missed the whole lot. Imagine if you missed the whole lot.
Yeah, no, it would have been so sour. But, mass. But no, it was good. Whole trip, the whole region was great. Yeah.
So what did people not see on camera, do you think? Stress moments, we'll probably go through a little bit of food planning, sickness, malaria concerns, border issues. There was probably a little bit more behind the scenes, but, like stressful moments. Is there anything behind the scenes that people didn't see? I feel like we did a pretty good job of trying to show everything. But other than like you and Navs and them, you and Tylen actually being stressed when you landed, I don't think we portrayed that probably well enough.
and living in the same tent for
Yeah.
long too. That's same car, same tent with someone you haven't spent any time with.
There's a bit on there always. Yeah. But the crew got along extremely well for people that haven't travelled that intensely together. You can go and get... Hurry up, mate. We need to go look at the bloody rhinos. Yeah, there we go. How's the attitude on the bloke? Try and help him. Just one. Yeah. I need to make sure the rest of the beers in the fridge are cold.
So, how many guys does it take to put up a standard boat tent?
Why are you making this look so difficult?
I'm just holding it.
What do you think I'm trying to do?
They're getting there.
Sickness.
No one really got sick, hey. I think Pay was sick on the way home, badly, if I'm not mistaken. The biggest thing is with going there, we went in the dry season. So if you're going in the wet, there's many things to do, right? So generally when you travel, and I think this is a global thing, and people, when you just travel in one country, you don't really realize that. But globally, all right, you always ask or find out or do your research into, what diseases there might be or parasite there might be. So for example, can you get dengue fever? Can you get malaria? Can you get tick bite fever? Yep. All right, yellow fever. There's a bunch of stuff. Whether you're in India,
going to Thailand, Bali, all those.
Bali, you don't drink the water, and that's another thing. You don't drink the water you don't know and you don't trust. All right, you're not just going to go to a river system in Africa and start slurping out the river. You'll probably be on the toilet for 2 weeks. So I think that's just your general rule of thumb with traveling. We were good. The cars, there was no dramas with the cars. Traffic can get a bit up there. In some places, like driving around Johannesburg and stuff, it's full on.
Half the time,
I was there long enough. I just blended in,
just
mate.
Go on the footpath. Find a square back in. Yeah.
It's like Bali. You just got to go with the flow. There's unwritten rules of.
You do. You really have to go with the flow.
And it worked. I loved it.
The biggest thing which scares people, with all the thoughts of South Africa, for example, is the crime rates, is all of that. And yes, there is that. But it's more so people who are living there. You know, if you think about it, you've got a house there, you've got a TV there, you've got all this nice stuff. Yes, you put up the big walls, you put up the electric fences, you know, you've got security alarms and gates and window gates and whatever, burglar bars. There's a lot of that stuff which is around. But as a tourist, mate, you're gonna get in, pick up a vehicle and go to a tourist hotspot. So the biggest thing you need to worry about is lock your car, make sure you have your valuables on you, and that's it. Make sure your wallet isn't loaded with cash.
Same as you cruising through Paris or Europe, or it's very similar. It's Australia, yeah. So I think, how about like big lessons that we learnt? Obviously, planning and preparation was 99% Dino. Poor bugger, pretty much. Well, he planned the whole trip. You know, we couldn't add too much assistance because we, you know, it's like when he come to Cape York, we sort of prep and plan that. We know where we're going. But what about for people trying to plan and prep a trip like that if they were heading over?
Vehicle prep.
Let's get into vehicle prep. I did actually write down here, so like vehicles and gear. So let's run, for anyone who doesn't know, all three vehicles over there are Dean's and Dean's old man. So there was Nav's Thailand's Luxy. That was your old man's touring vehicle.
Yeah, for many years. Yeah.
And he's since just upgraded to the new Luxy that was my Luxy.
Yeah, in fact, he hasn't done a bush trip in the new Lux yet.
Thank you, Clive.
So yeah,
You're a legend.
Matt and Bree got that one, but that's the new bush vehicle, right?
So it was a perfect window of overlap where they hadn't quite gotten rid of the old one yet. We had the new one, and then Dean, the 200 was yours. Now even that vehicle was more just a daily to get you around. It wasn't set up for touring.
100%. When I migrated over to Australia 10 years ago, I sold my 80 Series. The 80 Series was my touring car. And because I mainly go there for work purposes nowadays, you know, we've got one bush car, which Dad and I share, which is the Lux. And the 200 is actually a full road vehicle. It's just for me to drive around town. It's fast, it's smooth, it's comfortable, and it's a petrol. So as you know, in standard form,
it's thirsty.
Yeah, in standard form, they're awesome. But that we quickly turned into a bush car, and it was an absolute weapon.
Yeah, so if you've seen the planning episode, we actually sent a heap of gear to Dino's, and he sent it over in containers. So we wanted some of our sponsors' gear, the gear we know, we trust. We had Max Trax gear go over. We got BF Goodrich tyres over there.
Yeah.
I don't like touring with anything else, and once again, they didn't let us down. It's not hardcore wheeling, so the setups that you need on these vehicles, and the wet season may be a slightly different scenario again, but you're a touring vehicle, your 2-inch lift, good wheels, tyres, and like a reasonable 12-volt system, a little bit of recovery gear if you do get stuck or bogged, but you don't need the big flexi stuff, you don't need the 35s. Most of it's gravel road, right? So probably good suspension, good tyres.
Gravel, dust and sand.
Yeah, sand.
Even if you go to the other neighbouring countries, you're touring. I mean, put it this way, we've never toured on my 80 Series 2-inch lift 33s.
Yeah.
And that was big.
Yeah.
And that is more than adequate on all terrains, all right?
And to be fair, it's more than adequate for most touring in Australia as well.
100%.
We just get carried away over here, and everything needs to look big and cool and bad. And it's I've toured, before I was doing Explore Life, it was a 2-inch lifted Navara on 32s, right? And that got me all the way to the tip of Australia and back.
100%.
And that's something you just need to keep in mind for every trip, guys, right? You don't need... I'm on a mission to build the biggest, baddest tour I possibly can. I've been on that mission for the last 5 years. But you'll see in May, where we head up to Cape York in little LN 106s, that you don't need all the gear. So I think for over there, that's kind of the main gear. The other one that we sent over was some Light Force lights. They definitely come in handy. I still remember running down that fence line after we just fought the bushfires.
Yeah.
Before dark, we had elephants step over the national park fences. Like, just because it's a national park doesn't mean the animals are staying in there. The elephants just step over the fences. There's 3 fences in a line. They just step over all of them. So like, you want some good lighting if you're going to do nighttime driving over
100%.
there. Imagine just smacking into an elephant.
Yeah, that would not be ideal.
It's grey, it's dark, you wouldn't see it.
Yeah.
You wouldn't even, not a chance.
I think the big thing is vehicle setup in general. When you're planning any trip, especially if you're doing a self-drive, water, all right?
Yeah.
The basic toolkit is important. I mean, you need wheel spanners, you need screwdrivers, you need a little bit of an electrical tester, little pieces of wire, and fuel. Water, fuel, and basic toolkit. you know, even, you know, one pair of Max Tracks will take you everywhere, realistically.
What about conditions when it is wet season? And I kind of want to go back when it is probably wet, just for a different element of seeing that, the wetlands, and we might not see as many animals, but green, water everywhere.
Most of it's water crossings, like puddles. The roads have these massive like whoops in the sand roads.
Yeah.
All right. And yes, mud is where the big problem comes in. So it's like this black clay that's in a lot of the areas.
Yeah.
And it smells like elephant dung and animal and all the rest. But definitely the wet, look, a snorkel, no doubt, works. I've been through some crossings in flood season where you don't even think it's meant to be flooding. It's like after the rains. After the rains, all the water's coming down from like Central Africa and pooling in there. So the delta, which is where we went, is a giant floodplain.
Yeah.
So when that fills up, you'll have a river crossing of, I've been in 400, 500 meters.
Yeah.
You know, at a meter high.
Is it like
So-
boggy stuff there, or is it just that
It's
top layer type thing? As
it's-
long as you can keep the wheels.
As long as you keep that wheel turning, often it's a sand bottom, but it's like long distance. So a snorkel's critical in that situation, in all fairness.
I think the vehicles, you know, we had basic little red arc setups, each car. One thing that was really cool about this trip is each vehicle, we actually set all 3 vehicles up to work as a team.
Yeah.
So we didn't need 3 high-end red arc systems. We had super basic in between, and then mine wasn't even that flash, but it was still a better dual battery system. So that was cool to be able to work as a team. But if we were to go back, I think other than a snorkel on your 200, probably nothing else we really needed
Nothing.
to do.
We set up all the vehicles perfectly well, and the nice thing is because we're touring with 3 vehicles, you are the spare parts car.
Yeah.
You're the one who takes the extra, water. You got some extra fuel.
Yeah.
So it was.
I got all the food, like.
Yeah, so we had one car as a
carted it
kitchen,
around.
and I think that's a big thing. Think about touring. I've often noticed touring over here, like everyone has their own full setup. When you're a bunch of mates and you constantly go away together or family, everyone doesn't need the same thing. We shared one kitchen
Yep.
for everybody,
What do we have? 8 people.
100%.
6, 8. So that's something, you know, if you're young fellas watching, or even any age, to be dead frank, if you're looking at doing a trip and you're like, oh, I don't have the vehicle that's set up enough to go and do this big long touring trip, the Cape or across the Simo. If your mates have got some of the extra gear, work as a team.
100%.
There's no point in dropping 20K on a vehicle for one trip, you know, working as a team. Someone carry extra parts and the heavy gear, and let the guy that's got the beautiful kitchen set up and induction, everything, just be like, mate, we're cooking off your car. Suck it up, like, you're all mates. Yeah, so I think probably just to wrap up, you know, that's basically the gear we took, how our vehicles went. We had one minor failure, which was a CV boot, which, you know, we probably should have known better to take a spare. That's that part that fails in that vehicle. But, you know, something that we always say is probably don't take too much gear, hey?
Yeah, don't try. Well, at least with your personal stuff, pack less.
Pack light, and we'll get into probably how you can go and do this trip shortly, but I want to run through, before we do, advice and tips for anyone thinking about going. Moments from the trip that have sort of stayed with you. So I'm going to rapid fire a few of these off and we're going to rip in. So I'll go Navzi and then Dino. So most surreal moment.
Most surreal moment, probably Linyanti was probably the most visually stunning, shocking thing I've ever had in my entire life, which you can't explain it. The camera will never get it. That feeling of like, I had goosebumps, you got goosebumps now thinking about it, of like,
Me too.
we're driving through this scrub and it's like there's elephants crossing the road. We're like, oh shit, was the first time we're seeing like a heap of elephants and this is crazy. And then roll up that little hill and then see that flat with just like hundreds of elephants, like the land before time just appears in front of you. Like it was just, I don't know how to explain that feeling, but I
You
don't think I've
can't.
ever been.
You just, your eyes start watering.
Yeah.
I was going to say,
My God. Holy s***. Bruh, there's like epic. What the f***? There's like
I think this is too much.
is why I came to Africa.
Wait, this is no joke. No joke. How many elephants do you reckon there are here?
I'm looking.
Holy.
Literally
Hundreds. Hundreds of elephants.
Tom, what's happening?
Holy sh... Bro. Holy sh... What a freaking place on earth this is. Giraffes, hundreds of elephants, the water's filled with hippos, buffaloes in the distance. This has have to be the most scenic shot we have seen the entire time in Africa.
Hey, what? What the actual is happening?
So it's unreal, this place. It's paid off.
I was like, literally, I was like, had a little tear to myself. I was just like, and even now thinking about it,
I'm goosebumps,
well up.
man,
It's
like-
weird, man. Like that feeling, like that was my most surreal moment.
Yeah.
Hands down, coolest thing I've ever seen with my own eyes.
I don't remember feeling that ever.
Emotional ever.
Yeah, that sort
Like,
of thing where.
for a location,
Yeah.
right? Like, that
Yeah,
was
I must be honest. Even on mine, you know, I've seen it before. I've been to those places, but I wasn't. We went up to Linyanti for buffalo. All right, that was the goal to get up. I knew there was going to be buffalo on the pan and sable antelope up there. So I was like, well, you know, we should see those. I was blown away myself, you know, and you guys saying tears to your eyes. We had literally some of the girls crying because of the massive inner emotion. And for me, as a kid watching Jurassic Park, when the guy kind of turns the lady's head out of the Jeep and they look at the big brontosauruses or whatever. That moment was surreal. One of my best moments though was probably our second night into Botswana. We went to Central Kalahari. The bottom pan at Papa's Pan is one of my most special places. And we're sitting there, we just pulled up for lunch. It was hot as anything. I think tonight we played lemon bowls. It was sitting there, sunset on the pan, fire on the left, lightning. There was a storm that was coming in, you know, and I was sitting there with all my mates. And for me, that was the realization of, we made it, yeah. So that was probably one of my special moments of the trip where I had a bit of a, you know, just stop, pause, second, think about it. And that was cool. That was really cool.
Yeah, we move so fast on these trips, and you know it's not the same as doing a trip with just your mates when you're out on holidays. We're always thinking about work. You know, we're there to get shots. You know, the camera guys are running around like madhouses. Shout out to cameraman Sam and Pay that you know they're up first. They're in bed last, and we're still thinking the whole time. But every now and again, you do have to try and just sit and be present in a moment.
There's no retakes.
No.
Yeah, you're filming as it happens, as it goes, yeah.
And that Linyanti was like, no one gave a fuck about cameras. You were just, boof, you were there. And, you know, you can see in the reactions. You know when you say your jaw hits the floor? Like, I've never seen someone's jaw move more than Tyler's. Like, that thing just about smacked him in his own ball bag. It was hilarious.
Yeah.
It was
You just
insane.
don't have in Australia creatures that are that big. And
Something to humble you to that
humble
level,
you.
right?
And you're not in a park, there's no fences between you and them, you are amongst them.
Yeah, and that Linyanti, like they can just walk straight. They'd already walked through the camp. Like next door, here's one thing you didn't see on camera, and I don't know if we spoke about it. Next door, there was a couple, and they'd hired a vehicle, and they were touring around by themselves. And this is how we want to explain to you guys at the end how you can go do this. And the poor bastards. I think someone walked to the bathroom and might have scared them off, and they'd come and said hello. But there was 30 baboons behind us while we were looking at all these elephants. It's about 30 baboons, and baboons are scary, man. The big dogs, like they are a scary freaking animal. Big teeth, they'll just maul you one-on-one. And they got chased into their car by baboons, and they're sitting in the car like, "What do we do?" And a big baboon's jumped on the bonnet and was just screaming at them. Poor bastards. Like, so when
beep, 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 we're like, what the hell's
honking the
going
horn.
Yeah, what's going on?
And
Yeah.
did we walk? Did
Yeah,
someone
we've been
walk
over there, we're like, oh,
I made friends with them and then invited them over for a drink.
Yeah.
You know, in the evening with us.
Never
but,
seen someone come to a campsite so fast.
Yeah, with more people, safety
More
in numbers.
And we had these like sticks that Nav had like chopped up, and they were our baboon sticks if we were walking around camp. Because you're not even supposed to walk from campsite to the bathroom by yourself. And for good, well, you're not supposed to walk there, period. They said drive a car there.
50 metres.
We went in numbers, probably shouldn't have. We should have driven a car, but yeah, like that was pretty fun.
There was a few scary moments.
Well, here we go. So scariest moment.
I think the one that actually made me hold my breath was probably where that elephant kind of like took that one step.
And on that, Play that footage right now and actually put a clock up for how long he held his breath, because you didn't breathe for an extended period of time. Here's that footage. Holy shit.
That was close.
That was psycho.
In me, you will be okay.
That was like, Pay nearly had a tuss through the window. That was very close. Oh, she's crying. Oh, poor darling.
It was a moment of like, if we weren't a little bit
half
cut, then that would have been. Yeah, that was pretty good. That was an experience.
That was an experience. We couldn't do anything.
You couldn't have done a damn thing.
Well, we just shit.
There was it was like that. Well, because when
Man,
you
I watched
chase
it the other day. Nav literally just goes,
I have to watch it again. I have to watch it again. Well, because you got the same moment with a wild bull is when it turns and you're like, all right, it's coming, like it's happening, and you've got that instant to make your move or whether to go. And ours was car's not on, can't move. Stay very still.
I want to paint this picture. It's pretty hilarious. So we were on opposite sides of the waterhole to each other, and the elephants come running out of the bush. Hey, they go full charge in this water. They're trying to show themselves, especially the males. Who's the big dog in the pack? Come on in there, in the big herd and chase the others away. So I'm sitting on the other side of the waterhole, and I see these two big elephants come out the back. And I get on the radio. I'm like, guys, too late to move now. So sit down, put your arms inside the car. They're going to come to you, threaten you, and probably just walk past. I don't think they realised the extent.
It was like probably the same time you had radio called us, all the tourists that were there were looking at us. We're like, oh, they're looking at us. Then Dean's like, well, why are they looking at us? Dean's like, oh, by the way, we're like, oh, there's elephants coming, righto.
I turned and I seen him out the back of the canopy, and I was like, oh, we're in for it here. The first one wasn't too close, but gave us the head shake and scare. The second one
Didn't even see
got
the second
close,
one.
and poor Pay, Sammy's partner, was sat right on the passenger side, right there, and he just stopped, looked into her soul, and like there was a moment, and she didn't do anything, and the second it left, she just like, just breaks down into tears, the poor thing, and the whole car, we were in just utter amazement, shock. That was it probably wasn't my scariest moment.
What was your scary?
It's a pretty good point. I'm gonna have to come back to it. We'll go with yours.
Right.
I don't know.
So I got two. One we didn't show on camera. Well, we couldn't have had camera. We left burning bushfires, then we made it to the dock. I hate driving. Big tip, don't drive at night in Africa, right? There's animals on the road, there's cars, there's trucks without lights, there's
on the actual
mismanagement.
roads.
Yeah.
The
we left putting out the fires. The donkey incident. Fires are there. Now, we're tired. I'm like, guys, we're going to go fight this fire. Everyone keen to help this guy out, but we're going to get into camp late. So this was a discussion we had before we just jumped in it and started helping out old mate, because it puts us at risk, the group at risk.
Yeah.
Anyway, everyone is happy. Everyone is on board. We did a great deed, and it was fantastic. We stopped the fire. Going back into Maun, we're on the main road after the cutting line, pitch black. We just drive over, the car in front of me just finished driving over a black mamba. Okay, so we've just seen this massive, big snake going up you off. What happened? Oh, it was a mamba. We didn't see it in time. Hit that. All the cars hit it, and it was kind of Matt and Tyler. Tyler and Nav
up in between every car.
Yeah, it was nuts. And about 2 minutes later, there's a truck with his brights on coming towards me, and you literally can't see. So I'm holding on the wheel, slow down to about 70, 80. Next minute, there's a donkey in front of my car, all right? And I hit anchors properly. Let's put it that way. I hit anchors properly. And yes, luckily the 200 has got good brakes. If it was my 79, I would have gone through the donkey. But I managed to stop. Matt gets such a fright, he almost hits me.
I was up your clacker.
And we do keep a good following distance. So
I wasn't too close.
No,
you jumped on so hard.
Yeah,
and the reaction time 100%. For me to be like, why should, there's nothing in, I can't see anything, why are you stopping? And then I get on the brakes and do the little swerve to just sort of come past you.
Yeah. So that was a whoops moment.
Yeah.
But the scariest moment I had on the trip, wildlife encounter-wise, first night in Botswana, we're sitting around a fire and I go through all the do's and don'ts. Go to the bathroom and the toilets together. Girls, 3 of you go together, the whole thing. So doing all of this, we're talking about hyenas. We're talking about not leaving food out for baboons. And the last thing I say is, guys, don't worry about lions or elephants or anything else. The one cat to be careful of is a leopard. And I'm absolutely fearful for a leopard, all right? You don't see them coming. A big male will take you out easily. It doesn't matter how big you are, the leopard will take you out.
This is my scariest moment as well.
Yeah, and we'd just gone to bed, and that was the night that Matt and Nav had first shift at watching the fires, so we don't get burnt out.
Huge mistake. We could have done it from our rooftop tent. Hindsight.
Yes. So we had a fire going. They went. We'd been in bed, and I'd been sleeping for about an hour. And I hear the scuffling around camp, and the car kind of shakes, and Nav grabs the binoculars out of my car or something, and Michelle wakes me up and is like, you know, oh, Navs and Matt are awake, they're around camp. And I'm like, lean out the tent, and I'm like, guys, what's up? You know, what's the go? It's like, oh no, we think we've seen a cheetah. You know, you in that daze, I've just gone to bed, I'm overtired state of mind, and I'm lying there going, and it's slowly mulling in my head going, cheetah, maybe a, serval or something, cheetah at night? I've never heard of a cheetah at night, I've never seen it. And then it dawns on me, geez, what if it's a leopard, right? And I climb out of my tent, I'm literally standing there in my undies, and these guys are like talking about this whole owl story and how they were protecting us, which 100% agree with, and good on you guys for thinking about that. We're on the edge of a plain, right? And there's a bit of shrub in front of us, like maybe 20 meters away. And then there's a plain and there's a bump. And I'm thinking, Navs is like, oh mate, you know, he's down there with him and my language they don't meet. So he's grabbed the binoculars from the car, in all fairness. So I'm thinking he's looking down the pan at this bump, and there's like, a leopard or a cheetah in the grass. Next minute, they go, oh, it's coming out. Now I'm standing there looking out, put the binos down, 25 meter away. It must be the biggest male leopard I've ever seen, all right? Like, literally, I went cold. And they're like, oh, there it is. I'm like, where? Oh, gee whiskers, you know, oh my goodness, shit.
Yeah,
And,
gee whiskers is not what was
no,
said.
no, I was trying to keep it child friendly, but I literally shit myself. And we're standing there in a row, and I'm like, all right, everybody puff up and buff up. Oof. Right, so we stand here. Start making a ruckus, make a noise, and shine all of our lights.
Every light we have.
Straight on it.
Yeah, because I mean, they need darkness to see properly. So this poor thing, we're blinding him with like 1 million candle power of torch power, cell phones, you name it, head torches.
And we just had the clearest picture of this huge male leopard walk out. And luckily, it wasn't just two of us, it was four of us. Misha jumped out of bed by this stage. I'm just got it locked, the torch locked onto its eyes. If it had to just turn and run, like...
The slowest will lose.
We had the car, but like... Yeah, like you were probably gone.
You'd never get to a car, even though it's right there. You know, they'll
was too
in
close.
That door. It was, too close. So that was a oh my goodness moment. Never let my friends stay up at night moment.
No, I don't think I realised how deadly they were until actually we saw them at the end there, and that bloody
in the big
Babalinga,
park.
it came running
and
out.
A leopard, to give you an idea, will grab any of us by the throat, our body weight, and just walk us up the top of a tree. And I think it was before or after that we pulled into another little like camping hut where you check in, and up in the tree, 15 meters up on a branch, is a bloody
skin and
carcass from a buck.
Just carcass, and you really threw it into perspective. Like, shout out to the owl. Because honestly, if that owl didn't go hoot hoot, I wouldn't have got up and kept checking.
Same.
You didn't even get out of the chair the whole time. I got up like every 10, 15 minutes.
It wasn't until that owl
spotting for eyes, making sure, and we seen them in the distance, and then it got closer and closer, and we honestly thought it was something small.
Yeah.
That's how good they are at making themselves just disappear.
In all fairness, we had this chat before that night. You guys did the right thing. You had the torches. You were doing your odd check around. You were listening out. So yes,
no music playing.
No music playing. Oh, that's a big thing in Africa. Don't play music. We just don't listen to nature. That's what you're there for.
Yeah.
But wow, what a experience! And it was a bit closer. You know, in my mind, if they saw it, they should have been in the car. But we know for next time.
Oh. We were a little too intrigued, but I guess you learn lessons, and we got away with not learning that one the hard way. So we'll take that as
There was one more thing. I don't know if we got it on camera in the end. We had to walk to the shower, which is like 25 meters away, together. That little spiral shower that we had at that same campsite.
Yeah.
And we had a little dinner, had a little carry bat that you just walk with you just in case. Not I don't know what you're going to do with it, but it makes you feel a bit tougher.
Knock the bloke next to you and run.
And so I was, hit Tyler and run. But I had my shower, Tyler was way at the front, and just getting towards dusk. It was like, all right, Tyler, like, we gotta hurry this up. Like 20 metres away, but I want to be closer to the fire when the sun goes down. And I was standing outside the sun, the front of the shower, and like heard this rustle and footsteps. And by the time I turned, 2 little jackrabbits or whatever they are had launched themselves out at me, and I jumped that eye, nearly threw the bat at them and nearly raced back in the shower. Almost fell in the shower on Tyler, naked in the shower. And I was like, what are you doing? I was like, nothing, I just see rabbits run at me and I'm shut my pants.
That could have been a leopard or
the
a
bushes
lion.
are right there. Bushes are right there, and that's it. First thing I thought was leopard, lion.
Cheetah.
We got sent to bed by a leopard, and the next morning we woke up to the sound of lions. All right, so I want to rip into some advice, tips for you guys, anyone thinking about going over there. So Navsy, who is Africa for?
Well, I think it can be for anyone really. Like
Anyone.
seeing the people that were over there, like there were couples, young couples that were out there travelling by themselves.
It's for absolutely everybody. That's who Africa's for. Unless you hate animals and you like big cities. Other than you lot of weirdos, it really is for anyone. Obviously, there's age groups. So Dino, like if you were to take kids over there, like for example, your family, at what age before you'd even consider it?
Good question, that. So, before I would even consider it is the age your children actually listen to you.
Yeah.
All right, so if your child is a good 8-year-old and you're like, come here now, and they can understand that's what you got to do, yeah, that's doable. Do you remember, for me, I think, and I'll be taking my family back, it is, 1, a costly trip. 2, we want to make sure that it's memorable. Now, my little guy, 12 years old, 13, 14, those teenage years before they get out the house, before they want to do their own thing, you know, because they can experience that same appreciation as what we do at that stage. You know, yes, I've been going there since I was 6, but we lived right there. So if I was, you know, living in Australia like I am and I want to take my family over, I would rather do 2 consecutive years in a row to different areas, or 3 consecutive years from the age of 12. That'd be my go.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd be comfortable with younger kids, my younger kids over there. I don't think I'd be able to relax.
No, like Dean said, they've got to be able to listen. They can't just bugger off and do their own thing. You know, even us, we're always in camp. Even us, we didn't pay attention enough to some degree.
You couldn't get the how serious it was, even with Dino explaining to us every night, safety brief for the next campsite. This is what we have to be aware of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So time commitments, I think like you want, if you're going to make the effort, you probably want a minimum of a 2-week trip over there.
100%.
And that would be probably not including travel time. I would say you want to arrive, you want to spend 2 weeks in wherever the region you go or however you do it. 2 weeks is sort of the minimum to be able to take it all in, give yourself the best opportunity to be able to see things if, you know, some days don't hit and then the next day does hit. So it's not somewhere you whip in for a 4-day trip and bugger off. So that 2-week sort of time slot.
That gives you a break somewhere in the middle to enjoy.
Now, how should people do this? There's probably 3 main ways. One, you can either grab a vehicle yourself, which is, you know, you got friends over there and you prep their vehicle and you take their vehicle just like we did with Dean's. Number 2 is you fly in, you rent your own vehicle and you go and do a trip. And number 3 is you fly in, you go to a resort, you jump in the game viewer and you get shown around the park. Now, my honest opinion of how you should do it would be the best way is obviously if you've got someone, go in their vehicles 100%, but forget option 3 unless, you know, you're super la-di-da and the missus wants a certain level of luxury, but there is options to be able to fly in, rent fully kitted out vehicles. There was 79s, like we had a lovely old couple come past. Hiluxes. They're built with either rooftop tents or sleeping accommodation on the back.
Self-drive vehicles.
Self-drive vehicles that have got enough gear for you to go out and do a trip. We met elderly couples on their own. We met younger couples on their own. We met groups groups of people that were traveling, that would be my pick. Now, maybe over to Dino for how the best way to do that and where you would probably rent those vehicles. Obviously, we haven't done that, but we can give you a bit of advice. So
Yeah, like you got to break your African trips up. So if you're going to do Botswana, focus on Botswana. If you want to do Namibia, you fly to Windhoek and do like Etosha, like a couple of game parks. So
if you want to do like sort of the trip we did and tick off some of the things we did, like I think Botswana's probably
100%. So not mucking around. You got a 2-week period. You got to make this work, right? Is I would fly to Kasane, so it'll be Johannesburg, Kasane, pretty much, which is right up to the north of Botswana, and it's there where we stayed at Chobe Safari Lodge area. There you can hire self-drive vehicles. Now, one of the companies that do it is a company by the name of Bush Law.
Yep. We'll put some of these links below just so you've got a couple of options to look at.
There's a few. Like you can get Brits Camper Hire all over the world, and you name it, Avis or whatever, rental fleet. So you get a rental car, self-drive vehicle in Kasane. That will allow you a week into Chobe, Maremi, Savuti area, Linyanti, right? So you'll see the northern part, you'll be in the Delta region, which you will see pretty much all the animals as you need to see. And you could easily do a week to 10 days there, and then get back into Kasane. And my honest opinion is it's a no-brainer. Spend 3 to 4 nights at one of the lodges on the water. It's the place you relax because you don't have to worry about animals eating you, right? But you see everything.
Which gives you a good mix of head out, do a couple of campsites that you feel relatively comfy. They're not days and days drive away. Like from Kasane to Savuti is
5 hours-ish, maybe 6.
You've got to book your national parks, you've got to book your campsites, a little bit of expense, but
that's it.
Nothing ridiculous.
No.
And then you get to come back to something that's somewhat civilization. Some of our best nights were at that lodge. We ate the beautiful buffet. We had the dancers out in front. We went for the river cruise.
Swimming pools are right there. It's just good, eh?
Yeah, nice to be able to just enjoy everything without that sort of tense feeling of having to be careful of everything. So it's quite nice.
And in my honest opinion, that would be the most incredible way to go and see Africa. We've seen people coming through on these game viewers and 100%, if that's all you're comfortable doing, staying in a nice lodge, getting to see that, you might only have a week and you get to run out 1 or 2 days. Pick which month you go. So Dino maybe run us through the month, but when we went, it was very hot.
Very hot.
40 plus degrees. And when we seen these game viewers come past, I was like, I know they've paid thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
And I couldn't think of anything worse.
Yeah, they were hot. They had things across their face for the sand, dust, and
you could see these high wealth
They
individuals
look
sitting
miserable.
in these cars just having the worst day. But if you go in better months,
100%. So we went there focused on seeing animals, which we did. So October month is one of your driest months there, hottest as well. No breeze, you name it. So animals, you'll see them everywhere, but there's no grass, there's no tree leaves. It's it's very dry.
and the water typically dries up and there's only certain water holes. So you've got a really good chance.
Yeah. So the nicest months to travel is your winter month. So your late Mays, June, Julys. We find that generally that is the common and the busier, most popular time. Those winter school holidays, July school holiday season. So that's great. It's cooler at night. There's still greenery around because the water's kind of just subsiding, and you still see enough animals. And then your wet months is your February, March, April.
Yeah.
Is your proper wet months.
Going when we did though, I think, it was hot. In the Central Kalahari, you did feel like you were out on your own because we didn't see any cars.
100%.
So you did feel like you were out away from everything. I think that would have been slightly different if there was 150 cars. That one car we saw,
That was the only time that
we saw other people.
Northgate or Quiet,
Yeah.
there was a few people there, but it's easy to get to from Kasane, and from Maun. From Maun, it's close, so it's a popular spot on the way.
The experience will change depending on what time you go there, because I did feel like we were the only ones out exploring half the time, which was cool. Yeah.
And guys, you can do it and you'll be putting yourself out of your comfort zone, but that's when the best memories happen. That's when all the stories happen. That's when the little oh my God moments happen. And grab a group of mates if you don't feel safe going together. Convince one other couple, 2 couples in hire cars, hitting some of these locations, you are fine.
100%.
You are fine. Follow some of the rules we said. Do your own research on Google. It'll explain to you, what to do, how to be safe, all those sorts of things. But give it a go. It's the best experience I've probably ever had touring. It's definitely, and will never be knocked out of my top 3. You know, we've got some other wild trips we want to try and accomplish, but it's in my top 3 greatest trips I've ever done. And I've been traveling pretty extensively for the last 10 years. So forget your Balis, forget your bloody Europe. You know, it's far cheaper than going over to Europe and traveling around in the busy cities and going and seeing Paris and Italy and Spain. And, you know, those things are cool. I'm telling you, Africa is an experience that will stay with you
special.
forever.
You have to do it once in your lifetime, definitely. And you're either going to let the bug bite you, you know, and you're going to go back and back and back.
And the couples we met over there, right? It wasn't their first time, like.
No, and that's it. If you're a travel person, you know, you got to be happy with roughing it. And it to an extent, yes, there are nowadays toilets and showers. When I started going, there was none of that, you know? If you like going to the Cape or the Simpson or the Kimberleys, if you like those wild places within Australia, Africa is the trip for you. If you like the Bali and the Rome, you know, and that stuff, go to Africa, stay in a lodge and let them do all the work for you and enjoy your time and see it that way.
It's definitely it'd still be a mind-blowing experience, even if you go to the lodge and you don't feel comfortable getting your own car and you're on a game viewer. Like, if it's a cooler month, you're gonna have far better time than that would be my bit of advice. Don't
June, July.
Go when it's a little bit cooler, but once in your life, you have to go and see the African animals. It is like nothing else. If you think you've seen an elephant in Thailand, that's not the same animal. It may as be a whole nother creature. It's twice as big, the tusks are long, they're aggressive. It's something you guys have got to do, and I beg you to go and do it. You know, if you've done Cape once and you're thinking about going again, ring your mates up and say, why don't we go to Africa? And I think not enough Aussies do it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Righto, speaking of moments, it was actually a bit of a moment that me and Nav got to share together, which is great. We decided we were going to go and do a day of bungee jumping and swinging, and I decided, because I like seeing people out of their comfort zone and I like seeing people scared, right? Not in a weird way, but I love pushing people to their limits of, like, you know, that's why we went to Africa, is to get out of our comfort zone and experience things that you're going to tell your family and friends and you're going to remember till you're an old bugger. So there was a couple of people that didn't want to do the bungee jumps, and that was Dean, Tylen, Nav, the girls, pretty much everyone. So we decided we were going to go do it. Dean stitched us up and said he was pulling out. I wasn't going to do it either. I had a little bit of a twinge in my back, and I got FOMO. I FOMO'd in. Dean actually FOMO'd in. He ended up
late,
coming on. So all the lads are bungee jumping. The swing was the one thing I was going to do because I thought it might be better for my back. I'd heard it doing push-ups or something earlier in the trip. I just twinged it. It was the only day we did push-ups.
I was going to say.
Yeah, the only day we did push-ups, and I twinged me back. So we did the bungee. It was awesome. I wasn't in any pain. Everyone, after you do it, you know, you're scared, but then you're like, oh, that was a cool experience. Glad I done it. Tick. Don't really need to do that again.
No.
No.
Then I think the girls jump first.
The girls jump first.
On the swing.
And me and Navs were watching. So we seen the girls jump, and I was like, that looks fun. And I like doing big swings. I've done the biggest one in the world over in New Zealand, and they're fun, and they're not as intense as a bungee jump.
It's not that jerk motion, it's more like fall off the end and pendulum across, right?
So I'm like, is anyone else? And Nav's like, yeah, I want to do it. And I was like, done. You know, one other person wants to do it. We run back
really
up.
Want to do it. I just didn't want to miss out.
You wanted to do that one. You were excited for that one. We ran back over into Zambia, signed the waivers, gave them the cash. We watched Dean and Mish swing, and then we come back, we're suited up again. They're strapping us in, and Dino and Mish are walking back. And Dean's like, nope, that was bad. And we're like, what do you mean? Like, we're thinking this is going to be the most epic experience. And he's like, that was more violent than the bungee jump. And I was like, well, that's not good.
Yeah, we don't want to hear that.
Why are we hearing that? And so what basically happened is, when you do the bungee, they tell you to jump out as far as you can. And we still had that in our heads, and we leaped off this platform. We've almost done the splits jumping off this platform. And so instead of doing a little hop and sort of the rope catching you, and you do fall 63 meters before this static rope engages and you get to swing. So because we jumped out so far, we fell longer than we should have before the rope engaged. And instead of it being, I've got ya, and swinging, we just went bang. And Nav's neck just whips to the side, and I don't know what happened. I was on top of you. We kind of crossed over. I think I stepped further than him, and my neck just went bang, straight backwards. And I knew instantly, and I think the footage even just goes, Well, the boys seen the string, loved it. We're in. Let's do it.
Won't tell the lads yet, but I reckon the swinging is a little bit worse than the jumping. What did you say?
Goes over, feet together. Up to the horizon. 3, 2, 1, jumping.
Well, I tell you what, despite how happy I look right now, if you have a look at this exact moment. Yep, that right there was actually a very severe injury. I didn't quite know how severe. I knew something had happened. I knew it wasn't good, but I was running pretty high on adrenaline when this happened. Little did I know it was actually a completely blown disc, which is what I said, and we grabbed it, and then I'm like, oh, we're here, we may as well enjoy it. So I put my arms back out trying to enjoy it, and at this point in time I didn't actually know how bad it was. I knew I'd done something bad, but I didn't know the level. I thought I'd just bulged a disc or pulled.
Yeah, neck was a bit out or something.
Neck was out, something was out. So, you know, that was the end of the day. We're still running on adrenaline here. We're leaving fine. I'm doing a bit of whinging to the boys, nothing major. And then
was
the
a
next
lot of
day,
whinging.
a lot of
yeah,
whinging,
the
just
normal
typical.
whinging.
The next day we're going whitewater rafting, the gnarliest commercial whitewater rafting in the world. And I was like, I knew I shouldn't do this. I'm like, I shouldn't do this. I am in like a world of hurt. I got nerve pain running down my arm, into my little pinky. I've got this like dagger, it feels like, in behind my shoulder blade. And the Misso Brie was pulling out if I didn't do it. And the only reason I did the whitewater rafting is because if I did, adrenaline will kick in and you won't feel the pain at some point. So yeah, basically I didn't really have a choice. I had to go do the rafting. So Brie was coming. We got down, we're on the rafts. As soon as you hit that first grade 3, pain disappears. You are loaded in adrenaline and you're locked and loaded for the whole whitewater rafting trip. We got to the end, towards the end, and they're like, yeah, I think like maybe 17 or 18 rapids, we're one paddle short. And they're like, oh, Matt, you know, you don't paddle. And I was sitting there and I was like, I am in lots of pain. Give me the paddle back. I had to keep paddling, otherwise I was starting to cry, basically. We did the rest of the trip. You'll see throughout the trip, I was sore. I was living on Panadol, Nurofen, couldn't play pool with the boys. I wasn't liking driving around. I wasn't sleeping. If I was lucky, I was getting 2 to 3 hours a night max sleeping. So the last week of the trip for me was lots of pain. And we actually, when we got back, I went and seen a chiropractor in South Africa before we went out to Mabalingwe. She cracked my neck and gave me a bit of a readjustment. Now, it actually did fix something in my neck. Something else was not right, and I had a bit of relief, but all the nerve pain and everything was still there. Hindsight, after we got back and found out what happened, they said, like, probably one of the worst things I could have done was get my neck cracked. Long story short, I had a disc that had protruded out of my spine, which looks like this. The disc was 3/4, halfway into my spinal cord. I got back, the day we landed back from South Africa, I went straight to the doctor, said, this is what's wrong, I'm in a lot of pain. I need pain medicine because I'm flying to Perth tomorrow. And he's like, oh, I don't know if you should really be doing that. So I flew to Perth the next day with some better pain medication. Same pain. Did the Perth four-wheel drive show with Dino and Tommy. Flew back. Went back to the doctor again to get anti-inflammatories for 3 weeks. Now me, Lofty and Dean, no, you weren't coming. Me and Lofty, and cameraman Sam, were meant to be doing a Cape York redemption trip on the boat. The pain was getting to a point where I couldn't function in life anymore. I was still trying to work and shoot ads, and we decided, I was like, I've got to get an MRI before I do this trip. I've got 3 weeks worth of painkillers, anti-inflammatories. I got an MRI. The next day I had 4 missed calls from the doctor, and the doctor said, look, hey mate, we haven't got any reporting, we've just seen the images. Go straight to the closest emergency centre right now. And I was like, well, that can't be good. That is not good. Sick in my stomach, you know. I seen the image and all I could think of is like, it's about to cut my spinal cord. And reality was that's pretty much where it was. If I had one big hit, or if I had done that trip up north and got one big hit, I would have been paralysed from the neck down. It was my C6, C7. I seen the surgeon on a Monday. He said, I'm operating on Wednesday. I said, okay. So basically what they did is they slit my throat open, cracked your vertebrae, removed the disc. I've got an artificial disc now that's been put in, which basically is like 2 little titanium plates with spikes on it and some sort of little rubber bands in the middle. It's like a nucleus, and then they jam you back down together and try and knock it in. So that, to where we sit now, we're actually in January now, end of Jan. I'm finally almost back. I go see the surgeon again next week. It's been 8 weeks of, I managed to get through the surgery, do nothing for basically 3 weeks, 4 weeks, start walking, like I was able to walk, that was about it. And then, now we're 8 weeks on, I got better range of movement. I'm still not allowed to do anything until I see this doctor and hopefully get signed off for rehab, being able to strengthen muscles and actually start moving my neck. At the moment, I still don't move my neck. I don't know how much range of movement I have. I haven't tried. I'm still too scared. So we'll see how we go. But that was the swing. I will never do one again. I will make a full recovery. Hopefully the doctor gives me okay. I can build up some muscles in my neck. I'll be able to basically 100% recovery. Probably never doing a bungee ever again, but bungee and swing are done for me. Done that, tick, tick. But pretty bad injury. Got away with it. We're all good to go. I should be back filming episodes hopefully next month. So that wraps up what happened to my back, my neck, whatever it was. Not a fun little experience. Don't recommend it. Laying down for an operation, having your throat slit is horrendous. So if you've made it this far through the video, guys, and you haven't seen the series, make sure you get back. Go and check everything out. It's definitely been one of our favourite series. To close it up, guys, would you do it again?
Oh, hell yes. It has to be done.
Yeah, for sure.
Dean will be doing it again.
Some highlights as well, like Matt mentioned there, but the river rafting. Man, I love river rafting. It was a great experience. I don't think we laid enough on the activities we did. So many different highlights, mate. The wildlife, the rough bush, gin and tonics in 40-degree heat is a good thing.
Yes,
and just seeing the waterfall.
Yeah,
one
Victoria
of the wonders
Falls.
of the world we saw. I mean,
we literally breezed over that. We ticked off one of the 7 wonders of the world.
100%.
And guys, you can go and do that trip. You can go and check out animals for a week, sneak over into Zimbabwe, see a 7th wonder of the world, go for a bungee jump.
Go whitewater rafting.
I'll definitely be whitewater rafting again.
Yeah, 100%. And actually want to do longer trips on that. There's a few day trips down there, Zambezi. That'll be good fun.
So forget the if. When we go back, if you guys don't want to see the content again and the content doesn't do well enough, we're going anyway. We're just going to go and we just won't show you. When we go back, where should we go? What's our next trip? Let's tease them with something.
All right, so some beautiful spots, maybe a little cruise through. Problem is, it's like on other sides, but Mozambique is definitely something I want to show you guys. For me, it's Africa's Fraser Island and North Tropic area.
So we could probably do like more of actual South Africa.
South Africa.
Sneak up into
Mozambique would be a trip.
Yeah.
That'll be part of one trip. And then, after that, cut through Botswana on the western side, go up and do a bit of tiger fishing and stuff at Drotski's. And that part of the Mozambique trip, however, we didn't catch enough tiger fish or any. We're gonna go tiger fishing in North Zimbabwe, all right? So North Zimbabwe and Mozambique, Northeast Zimbabwe, Mozambique is a doer. And then west, we go west of Botswana into the top end of the Delta. That'll be stunning, maybe like a 5-day or 6-day Makora ride through some awesome places there, all right? And then into Namibia. I wanna show you guys some of the biggest sand dunes in the world. Old desert, Welwitschia plants, the Skeleton Coast. I mean, there's a lot.
It would be good to also see, just to add good, I don't know how you get your foot in the door with like a tribe somehow, because like some of the people we did meet were like super friendly and it'd be like, I think it'd be a cool experience just to
a more traditional village.
See a little bit of it, like just to add that in somewhere. Like see a bit more of a traditional village sort of thing.
We've got at least 2 more trips then. South Africa, Mozambique, and then a top end of Botswana into Namibia. If we get really game, then we might start sneaking up into Angola.
Hey, don't give the secrets away.
So look, guys, appreciate all the support on this series. It's something that was very out of the box, very different for the Explore Life, but we do hope you've enjoyed it. Let us know if there's any other countries you think we should hit. Let us know in the comments. If you want to see more, let us know. Subscribe if you haven't. About 50% of you guys that watch haven't subscribed. We appreciate all the subscribers. We appreciate every comment, every like. Make sure you follow along on social media to see behind the scenes. The Explore Life, Navaroonies, and The Bush Company. Huge shout out once again. The biggest thank you to Dino from The Bush Company. None of this would have been possible without loaning his vehicles and his trip preparation and taking us through. So thank you, mate.
You're welcome.
Incredible experience. That's a wrap, guys. Till next time, get out and plan yourself a trip to Africa. Thank you.